Buongiorno e buonasera. Buongiorno and welcome to Jaxx Vane Studio Live. And we are at number 49, working on Sailing Simulator. Good morning, Chax.
Good morning.
How was the sailing? How was the experience? We went sailing for the first time on Saturday.
Yeah, it was very cool. I really thought I was gonna get sick, but I was too excited that I really had fun. It was really cool. I'm also surprised that I really liked it.
We didn't have any idea. We went basically for a sea trial. Sea because we weren't at sea. We were in a lake. Sea trial of the boat that we are considering.
Yeah.
And it was our first time on board.
Yeah.
And sailing, and it was absolutely unbelievable. So it looks like
So I think it's gonna happen.
it's going to happen.
We're gonna live on the boat.
I think we're going to end up living on a boat.
Yeah.
So now it's just a matter of time, I think, to see when this will happen. But
because we're such a weird couple. It's like for how many years now? For 13 years, we always change all the time. No, we never really stick to one place for a long time. So I think living on a boat will really give us that freedom.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's not an houseboat. It's an actual boat.
Yeah.
It's an actual boat. So yeah, so we are going to try this thing. So instead of selling everything and relocate every 3 or 4 years, I think our average has been like 3 years, right? Every 3 years, pretty much.
Yeah.
We start to get this itch. Okay, we should move. The boat will make this kind of itch easier to scratch. We can just easily move, and we move our entire life with it.
Yeah.
With the cats.
Yeah, because one of the things that I really hate when we go take a vacation or somewhere is to really like prepare everything.
Yes.
Like,
we will not
organize.
Yeah.
With that, we basically, if you want to go somewhere, we just bring our house and the cats.
Yeah, you just set sail and go. We still don't know when this is going to happen.
Yes.
And how it's going to affect our streams. We hope that wherever we end up with the boat, we will have enough Wi-Fi to keep streaming.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see the transition.
Yeah.
You know, my hope is that we can keep streaming, and it's going to be a soft transition. Like, me and Chuck, we're going to move on the boat, but it's still going to be at a reasonable distance from our house here. So we will keep our house.
Yeah.
And move a little bit of something every weekend. Realize what we need on the boat.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not too cold.
It's a different lifestyle for us, because if we move on the boat, we really have to be more minimalistic. How you call it, Paul? Like that?
Yeah, we cannot have 20 guitars anymore.
We cannot have 20 guitars, 10 amps.
So all my guitars are on sale now. So if you want my guitars, drop me a message, and you can have them at a very good price.
Sissy Driver. Good morning.
Hi, Sissy Driver. All right. Okay. So my plan for today is, if you remember, during the last stream, I actually went backwards from what my usual procedure is, because I tend to always do the physics side of things before the graphics, but this time I did the graphics first. So we implemented this system to get these patches, darker patches here, that will represent different strength of winds. And Jax is also here. Good morning, Jax. Yeah, he's showing the entire world is beautiful. Also, nice, Jax, nice. So this is the the graphical representation. So what we have to do today is translate this into physics. So the physics, when we get here, we'll have to read a different amount of winds. So that's my plan for today. Do you have anything special today other than continuing our America's Cup?
Today maybe I try to put the antenna here at the back, at the stern.
Yes, Chax is getting into nautical terms. She's getting ready to be a sailor.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. And then if I can, I also want to model the steering wheel, because this one is wrong, of course.
Which is not called a steering wheel.
It's called the helm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what's the story with the loft in Maya?
No. I think I'm ditching Maya soon. Like,
this is the last.
Is that the correct word for ditch?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm ditching it soon. Like, I think I'm just gonna give it like 2 months maximum. So like in 2 months maybe I try to spend 2 hours to learn Blender, because I see some tutorials on Blender. It's so easy to do wire and cables. And then in Maya, basically I have the Maya LT, so the cheap version. So it's like it's limited, and I don't have that wire tools or cable tools to do the cables easily. So yeah, I don't have the complete Maya, so they don't have it here, and then I have to do it manually, which is so annoying. And I think I'm really ditching it soon, because if Blender can do it, if they can do the same thing plus it's free, there's no brainer.
Thinking that another interesting thing for me is going to be, once we move on the boat, is going to be the first time in my life, literally the first time in my life, that I will be working on a laptop.
Yeah?
It's going to be the first time in my life that I will not have
You will
a
not
desktop.
have
I will not have desktop, 2 monitors, steering wheels.
You will not have the widescreen monitor. You will have only
I don't have a widescreen right now. You have my widescreen.
Okay.
I'm here studying to get my license. The nice thing in the Netherlands, and this is the last thing about boat, and then I start working, because I could talk about this forever. The nice, interesting thing about the Netherlands is that the law doesn't require you to have a license to drive a boat, provided that boat is not capable to go to a certain speed with engine and is shorter than 15 meters. And interestingly enough, most sailboats are shorter than 15 meters, and their engine are not very powerful, because you just use the engine to get out from the docks, and then you raise your sail and you go. So that means that in Netherlands and in Belgium, you don't really need a license to drive the boat. So I can actually learn by doing, but eventually to move down, which is our long-term plans, is to go down in the Mediterranean Sea, where there is a little bit warmer. I will actually need a license, because in Italy, France, Spain, Portugal, it's all required, and they are all, part of our itinerary to go down in Europe. So yeah, I will have to study also for that. I don't think the water is going to be the problem. I think the biggest problem for us, especially with Jaxx is very brave. Jaxx is
He's very curious.
He's very curious. He likes to. It's also a little bit maybe our fault, because we we sometimes brought him out on a leash like a dog, and he loves it, or we bring him out like with a porter, like similar to Kid Porter, but it's designed for cats. So he's got it's closed, but he can look outside, and he just loves it. So he's always very curious of what's outside the door. He wants to go out. Kunos is very typical cat. He doesn't.
He's scared. Change.
Yeah, he's scared of everything. He's scared of strangers. Jaxx is not scared of anybody. We have visitors. Jaxx jumps on their leg. So the main problem is really going to be to keep them in the boat, you know, to stop them from wandering around in the marina and on other boats, on other people's boats, and potentially dogs and things like that. So that's going to be the main challenge for us. That's going to be at my first
netting,
job.
What was the name of the thing from the
Lifeline netting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lifeline.
So basically, it's like a net that runs around the boats, and it will. It's not that it's stopping them from going out, but if they are playing and you know they sleep,
them a bit of security.
Yeah, they sleep. They you know, instead of falling into the water, the net will catch them. Something like that. To football. In all this, Chax can't swim.
all this drama on living on the boat.
I mean, she was born in the Philippines.
Yeah, I'm
a country of how many
I'm an
islands?
island girl, 7,000 plus. 7,000
islands, and she can't swim.
Yeah, I'm also searching for a pool to practice.
Right. Let's do some work. So we want to bring this thing into the physics. So first change is that right now we already have a wind, but here we go again with where things should live. So right now it's living in our physics crate, and we have this wind with this implementation, right? The point is that we don't really want this guy to live here. So the first thing we do is we have to move around this thing, and what physics will have is just a trait. So it will have a trait. Trait in Rust is like a virtual pure class in C++ or an interface in C#, right? Or Google Go, right? In Go is the same. It's called also interface. So it just defines what you can call on that thing, right? So our wind becomes wind. I tend to like to call this trait. It's not something that I've seen the Rust people do, but I like to do it. So that's how I'm gonna do it. It's a big change. You know, I was expecting everything to be easier. Render physics info. Non-primitive cast. No, okay, hold on. Like this. Oh yes. Oh yeah. All right. All right, wait a minute. That's ugly. Super ugly, but I'll take it. This straight shit it's really annoying. Should I give up on it? It's been 2 hours. But I don't really want to go and redo all this. Do you really need a box? You can change the function like this. Right. Let's see. This will solve me. Right. So that's what we want to do. Oh, I really hope you're right, Ivan. You will really solve me. It's obviously that mismatch types. Wind is get physics state. Wind is okay. It's obviously that this part of Rust is not a part that I'm very familiar with. So If this is the solution, I will be so happy. Oh, looks like it's working. Looks like Ivan is a genius. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What is this? AI performance tester wind. Yeah, whatever, mate. Whatever. Whatever. Alright, do we still have a sailing game? Do we still have a sailing game? No. I mean, yes, but I don't know why we have a wind speed of 27 knots. Yes, is it because wind new? Do I have a function? Knots 2 meters per second. There you go. Okay. So, do we still have a sailing aim? Okay. So the wind is coming from there, which is correct, still correct. Which is promising. Alright, it looks like we still have a sailing game. That's the automatic feeder firing and Jaxx running for it. Let me recap the situation. So suddenly I'm late. It took me 2 hours to refactor the code in order to take out that wind from the physics and just prepare it for everything else. It's a work that might look a little bit mysterious, but it's basically already prepared to be compatible with multiplayer and single player. So it's code that I'm writing once and it's going to automatically work even in multiplayer. So we'll have lots of wind variations without really moving a lot of data from the server to the client. That's the final result that I'm trying to have. So right now I have the data pretty much as I want it. What it needs to be done is actually take the work that we did last Friday to have the Perlin map for the wind and plug it into the wind structure and write the functions that, given a position of the boat, will give us a different wind, also based on that how strong the gusts of the wind will be. So we will have an average wind speed, and then the gust will be plus minus, right? So if I put 5 knots of gusts, it means that, and let's say that we have 15 average speed for the wind and 5 of gusts, it could be anything from 20 to 10, right? So and this will be once we have the data, it's going to be pretty easy to expand this to have additional purlin maps for slight variation of the direction of the wind. So we might have also the wind in some part pointing slightly to a different direction compared to the rest of the map. That also, it's all at the end, it will all make the simulation a little bit, well, a lot more interesting, because all these elements will be very complicated to predict and handle. And what I hope is that wind variation with gusts, especially on the catamaran, will also make sail control more complicated, because you might find yourself in a situation where a strong gust of wind comes in and you need to react to it, because the boats will tend to capsize, right? That's the entire point of it. So get a little bit more action in the driving, and a little bit more strategy for slower boats, like the traditional sailing boats, where the driving itself is not going to take all your attention, and you will have time to look around, try to see on the sea where you have more wind and go there. So that's the plan. I should be able to finish all this stuff. And one more thing, we already have the entire interface for the wind system. It's also ready to give us the ability to have wind gradient, which is basically the idea that depending on the height of the water, the wind speed is going to be different. So we will get to a point where we will divide our sails in different stripes, and they will see a different wind angles, because of the combination of the boat speed and the wind speed. And so tuning the sails will become more complicated, because an optimal sail angle will require a slightly different angle at the bottom of the boat and at the top of the boat. The angles will be slightly different. All this will be changeable either at runtime. I'm also thinking for the catamarans, I think we will need some kind of presets that we can quickly recall from the keyboard, probably with the number keys. So give me preset number 1, give me preset number 2, and the automatic sail goes to that preset. So it's a little bit like a setup of a car, right? So you pre-select all this stuff. You go out in the water, you try it a little bit, then they become your preset, and you're ready to use them in the race. We're done for the day. So let me recap the appointments. Maybe tomorrow afternoon I will be online for Assetto Corsa Competizione Artificial Intelligence. I say maybe because I have a terrifying appointment with my dentist in the morning, and I don't know. I don't know what is going to happen after that. I might be in total pain. So yeah, so I really hope tomorrow to be fine and be able to stream in the afternoon. Assetto Corsa Artificial Intelligence, and I really hope that I will be in a good shape Wednesday morning, where we will be back also with Jaxx streaming on for the sailing simulator. So that's all from us for today. From Stefano, Chax, Kunos that is here, is already it, and Jaxx that is down there. See you next time. Ciao ciao.
See you next time, guys. Ciao ciao.